Oh, fuck you, Google Plus. All right, here we go. I had to go and make this all so fucking complicated. It was all nice and easy. I had it all worked out, and then boom, they change it. Oh, Christ. Come on. Fuck's sake. You should just try Twitch. Seems like that would be less of a hassle. Oh, crap. Oh, there we go. Holy shit, they made this so fucking complicated. Guys, let me know in the chat room if you hear me. Just let me know. All right, and then we'll get started. Or leave a comment if we even have a comment section here. Okay. Okay, you can hear? All right, cool. Give me 1 second. Just gonna post the link. I'm sorry it took so long. I am still trying to figure out this new way that they made live streaming. It was nice and simple before, then they went and changed everything, and now it's a fucking hassle. Okay. And does that... Yes, it does. Okay. All right. Eric Rodriguez. Just wondering if... nah, probably not. Just wondering if there was any relation to E-Rod from that guy with the glasses. Probably not. There's our channel awesome now. Anyway. Yeah. Okay. All right, let's get going. And I don't have my notes called up, of course. I've been a little stressed out lately. Which again is why we're doing a review like this. Really? I promise you, I will get quicker at setting these things up. I could do them really quickly before, but now it's all different. All right. Okay, we have one vote for cutting my hair. All right, so Impact. This is a week after Turning Point, or what we're calling Turning Point now. This is the episode where Dixie had to make her big decision regarding Jeff Jarrett and his proposition last week. But we'll get to that in a little bit. We're going to save that. We'll let that bubble up for a little while. We started this week with the excuse me, with the Hardys. Matt and Jeff come out. Matt is still jockeying for a title shot, saying how much he wants a world title shot. He thinks he is the guy to carry TNA into the future. I have reservations about that personally. But he has managed to convince, a good chunk of the crowd that there's some relevance to this. Anyway, Matt wants a title shot. Unfortunately, he does not have an argument for one, since EC3 beat him fair and square in Full Metal Mayhem. He doesn't really have any grounds for a title shot at this point. It's kind of coming off like Matt wants another shot just because #MattForChamp. But starting a hashtag doesn't earn you a title shot. It doesn't get you anything really. Especially when the last time you faced the champ, he beat you pretty decisively. Yeah, there was no gray area here. EC3 won that match clean. It's not something that gets you a rematch in most cases. Now, if Matt were to ask for a #1 contender match or a qualifier match, with which he could win his way into another title match, that would be different. But that's not what he's doing. Yeah, that's not what's happening here. He just wants another match with EC3, and he doesn't... The idea of him actually earning it is not really being brought up. And that's the issue that I have with this. So EC3 comes out, and he basically says this. He says, look, I beat you. I don't owe you anything at this point. You don't deserve anything at this point. You don't really have an argument for a rematch, and, EC3 isn't wrong. Matt doesn't have a great argument here. So anyway, he coaxes the fans into chanting for him. And, well, long story short, he gets this rematch. EC3 decides to be merciful and shows pity on Matt and gives him his rematch. On the condition that if he loses, then Jeff becomes EC3's assistant. Okay. That's kind of silly. It's kind of dumb. Seems like it would be a source of cheap heat and not much else. Kind of seems like a way to transition into EC3 feuding with Jeff more than anything it has to do with Matt. I don't find the idea terribly interesting. It's possible EC3 could milk some entertaining stuff out of this. He usually does. Anyway, Jeff agrees to this. He says later on that the details are still unknown. Does it pay the same? How long would he have to be EC3's assistant? What would he have to do? What would the consequences be if he didn't want to do it? None of this is known at this time, according to Jeff, which translated to English means that this is a lame excuse for the writers to make up the rules of this angle while they go along, and gives them an easy out so they can end it whenever they want at the drop of a hat without actually planning it out ahead of time. I'm not anticipating great things from this idea. I'm really not. We'll see where it goes. So from there, we move on to EY versus Chris Melendez for Melendez's artificial leg. Oh, boy. This is another one I was not anticipating great things for. The match was nothing. Yeah, they've had, several matches now. None of them have been terribly interesting. Because, unfortunately, Melendez is not very interesting. So that they have another match that is just kind of there. EY wins. He demands that Melendez fork over the leg. And here it just gets silly. I'm probably going to be repeating that a lot here, but you can't do this. You can't have Eric Young being like, give me your leg, give me your artificial leg, and him like holding it up like some kind of trophy. You can't do that and have it not be silly. This whole thing is just cartoonish. And now, you can see where it's going. Now I'm sure they're going to have another match where Melendez wrestles on one leg and he'll beat Eric on one leg, and then it'll probably be done, and I still won't care. This feud has never been interesting to me, and Melendez losing his leg doesn't change that. Because I still just don't care about Melendez as a wrestler. As a soldier, American hero, yes. But as a wrestler, I just see a rookie who's not ready for the spot he's in and got handed the spot because of what he did as a soldier. And nothing that he's done in this feud has made me feel differently about that. So I got one more match. And I confess, I'm sure I won't care about it. I haven't cared about this feud since it started. I don't really see what can be gained from this, aside from giving Chris Melendez TV time that I just don't see what they're getting out of it now. Melendez is a guy that you parade, you bring out on like special occasions for like special attraction type stuff. Put him in multi-man matches, in situations where the winner and the loser doesn't really matter. So he can't really, hurt anyone by beating them. It's just stuff like that. Putting him in a one-on-one feud, I don't see what that does for anybody. From there, we get a seemingly random X Division title match. Tigre Uno defending against DJZ and Sanjay Dutt of GFW. So, Jeff Jarrett giving another GFW wrestler a title shot at a TNA championship, huh? After he lost to the champion fairly quickly last time they fought. He doesn't have to earn the title match, he just gets it. Because on Global Force Impact, Jeff Jarrett gets to do whatever the hell he wants. And this still doesn't seem suspicious to Dixie Carter at all. Yeah, okay. Gonna sound like a broken record here this week, but the match really was not interesting to me in the least. Aside from Sanjay suspiciously getting put in there, which the announcers never bothered to call attention to, there was no real story here whatsoever. It was just a match for the sake of having a match. And I guess I should feel appreciative that the X Division champion actually got some FaceTime this week and had a match, but I just... There was no reason to care about this. Give them a storyline. Give me some indication that you're invested in these characters. If you're just parading them out there for a random spot fest, well, I know what those look like by now. We all do. They don't mean anything at this point. You know, the work from these three guys was good. But so what? This came off like complete filler. Because that's all it was. And from there, we move on to the tag title match. The Wolves versus Manic and Abyss of the Revolution. You may be wondering how the Revolution got a title shot when they haven't really done anything to earn one in I don't know how long. Well, that's the state of the TNA Tag Team division right now. It's the Wolves and whatever teams can be slapped together to give the Wolves something to do. Pretty much. Couple that with the Mahabali Shera storyline, and you knew how this was going to end before it started. The Revolution have not been presented as viable contenders for a while now. You never thought the Revolution had a chance here at all, with or without the interference from James Storm. Ergo, you couldn't really buy into this one. At least I couldn't. Maybe that could be forgiven if the journey getting there was at least compelling, but it really wasn't. It played out pretty much like you thought it would. Storm tries to interfere, Shera stops him, the Wolves win a solid but uninteresting match. Then we get a Knockouts title match, with Brooke defending against Velvet Sky. Another seemingly random title match with no story attached to it. At least that's how it looks on paper. It did get Brooke on the damn show, finally. I don't think she's appeared on Impact since she won the Knockouts title, so that's good. But the first time she's back, she's defending against Velvet Sky. The match is what it is. It's a Velvet Sky match. We all know what she's going to deliver. Jade and Marty cause a DQ because of what happened to Taryn last week, so at least something starts happening there. They attack Brooke, take her out on the outside. They attack Velvet. Then Rebel comes out and turns heel on Velvet, surprisingly. All right, I'll give this one a shot. I don't know if Rebel necessarily fits in with the Dollhouse, and I still think it's bullshit that Velvet is in this position at all. She's clearly being shoehorned in there when she has no business being there. But credit where it's due, this was the first thing on the show that I didn't really see coming. So I appreciated that. However, am I looking forward to Velvet versus Rebel matches? No, I'm not. It is technically a fresh matchup, which I've been screaming about that we need more of in the Knockout division for a very long time. But given Rebel's inexperience and Velvet Skyness, that has the potential to be, to quote Jim Ross, bowling shoe ugly. And I have in my notes here I have talk about Rebel and then expand on that. That's what I wrote down. I don't really know what to say about Rebel. You know, I don't think she's untalented. I like Rebel. I do. I mean, I think she's got a great presence on camera. She seems like a natural, uh, at least in front of the camera. She understands like performance instincts and stuff. I think she has good performance instincts. The problem with her is that at her age and experience, she's got such a limited shelf life as a wrestler. Um, by the time she acquires any significant skills in the ring, it's I mean, she'll be pushing 40 at that point, and so it's almost like, well, why bother? I I don't like saying that because again, I do like her, but she kind of seems like a project that might not really be worth it because I don't know, her mileage is questionable at this point. I think, yeah, but you never know. Who knows? Maybe she'll surprise us. I'll give it a shot. And from there we have yet another match. Um, putting another talking segment in here might have helped break all this wrestling up. It seemed like there was a really long block of wrestling, just one match after another, after another, after another. Um, it's good to have some space in between there sometimes, just to let the audience breathe. I think, because when you got that many matches all in a row, you've got ROH. Just saying. Just saying. Um, excuse me. So Anderson versus Lashley versus James Storm versus Bobby Roode for a shot at the King of the Mountain Championship. You know, you can throw all the star power you want into this match, but if they're fighting for a shot at the Legends Global TV King of the Mountain, whatever the fuck title, that's a surefire way for me to not give a shit. Why does anyone want that thing? That belt has had such a freaking joke of a title history. We are so far past it being even remotely salvageable. That belt is cursed. Just throw it in the fucking dumpster and be done with it. Jesus Christ. Again, a good match, but so what? They're fighting for a shot at a belt that never really meant that much in the first place and nobody's cared about in a very long time now. Hell, let GFW have the fucking thing. Then it can be an albatross around their neck for a while. Would it really be that much of a loss if TNA lost the King of the Mountain Championship? Not really. Not really. And so, that brings us to the main event segment of the evening, where Dixie Carter comes out to announce her decision about whether or not she has decided to let a GFW invasion happen right under her nose like a dumbass or not. Oops. I mean, whether or not she'll let Jeff Jarrett run TNA. Hope you'll understand how I could get those two things mixed up. As different as they are, you know. As baffling as it sounds, it actually looked like Dixie was about to go through with it. I throw up my hands. I don't even know what to say about that. Fortunately, Drew Galloway comes out after he conveniently received a magical phone call from somebody from the Plot Convenience Fairy. This magical phone call that explained what was going on. As if it wasn't so fucking obvious already that you could see it from the fucking moon. Unless you're Dixie Carter. And as it turns out, GFW was responsible for the attacks on Bully Ray and Drew Galloway. And, well, wouldn't you know it, guys? The Jarretts were untrustworthy the whole time. No. Really? You know, I would play the fuck out of that triple facepalm soundbite if I could right now. The stupidest thing about this is that they had this this magical phone call happen at just the right time to solve this mystery for Dixie. Have it explained for her. Manufacturing a bunch of made-up clues that we were never privy to about who the guilty party was, and ignoring all the incredibly obvious clues that were right in front of everybody's faces that could have and should have been used to solve this mystery so as not to make the TNA president look like she's blind, deaf, and dumb. And now, to top it all off, we've got another fucking invasion angle on our hands. Yay! If this was supposed to be a surprise, fail. Epic fucking fail. The only one on Earth who was surprised by this was Dixie Carter. Honestly, it feels like this entire GFW invasion angle is being written for idiots. And that's exactly what they've made Dixie Carter look like. I mean, if you're Dixie Carter, this seems almost mean-spirited. I know I've said this the last couple of weeks, but it's like it was written by someone with a clear agenda against her. And for some reason, she just doesn't understand what's happening here, in work or shoot. It's really to the point where I can't even sympathize with her anymore. I can't feel sorry for her. I can't root for her to figure out what he's doing or put a stop to it, because they've made her pretty much laughably stupid. All the clues were right there. Okay, Bully Ray taken out, Drew Galloway taken out, GFW reaping the benefits both times. Jarrett worming his way into a position of authority on the show, bringing in his own talent, putting them in title matches against TNA stars. How much more proof do you fucking need? Did you really need the plot convenience fairy to call you on the phone and say that, oh yeah, well, I looked at the security footage and it was the Jarrett's car making a getaway or whatever the fuck. Okay, if that was on the security footage the whole time, how did nobody know about it until now? I would think if that was on the security footage, if the getaway car of the attacker was on the security footage, that would be something I'd want to tell the police about so they could run the plates. You telling me nobody figured that out until now? Wow. They're booking this angle for 5-year-olds. Seriously, a kindergartner could poke holes in this. This is so moronic. You know, once upon a time, it felt like the TNA writers were at least trying to come up with some interesting, thought-provoking stuff. They didn't always succeed, but at least I felt like the effort was there. This feels like something. This feels like something they threw together in their sleep. So again, feeling like a broken record here, but it's the same deal as the last few weeks. A good wrestling show, but creatively, it's the whole thing is a mess. They need an overhaul in a big way on the creative end. I think John Gaburek isn't over his head. I don't think he's cut out for this job. Maybe he's a good production guy. I don't know. I've never met him. Um, but as a writer, he's just not getting the job done. And that's the bottom line. These storylines are way too simplistic to be thought provoking. Quite frankly, they're way too simplistic to be in any way interesting. This is not good. They need to step their game up in a huge way. Okay. All right. It's almost midnight already. Okay. Well, let's go to the chat room. For some reason, we're continuing the chat room from last week. I'm not sure why that is. Okay, let's see if I can find where we started here. All right, there we go. Okay, so we'll go with questions for a couple of minutes, and then I will retire for the evening because I've got another early wake-up call tomorrow. And let's see. We Bear 50. I'm sorry if I'm pronouncing that wrong. If TNA leaves Destination America, what channel would you want them to go to? My choice is AMC. Well, I don't think AMC would want or need them at this point. When you've got The Walking Dead, which is pretty much the biggest show on television, period, right now. A 2-hour wrestling show that can't crack 500,000 viewers at the present time probably isn't going to be. It probably isn't going to look like a terribly convincing show for you. Probably not going to be the right. Probably not going to be the way you'd want to go right now. I mean, if I were AMC, I wouldn't look twice at TNA. I don't think TNA brings anything to the table that they want or need. What channel would you want them to go to? Preferably one that people wouldn't have to pay for an advanced cable package to see. Something on basic cable. So maybe they can get some of their audience back. JH Zilla, I don't think there's a good channel left. Yeah, that's a good point. They've had a lot of audience erosion going to Destination America. I mean, it's kept them on the air. It's kept them in business. But it's also cut their audience by more than half. Excuse me. That's gonna make it hard if and when they have to negotiate with a new network. Their bargaining power is not what it used to be. HB Hain 4441. What are some benefits of Rebel joining the Dollhouse? I'm not sure. I've been thinking about that. I guess it does get a new knockout in the mix. Love it or hate it. I know Rebel is not the most skilled worker in the ring, and she probably never will be, just because of how green she is and how limited her shelf life is as a performer. She does offer some new matchup combinations. Maybe if you limit her involvement to simple stuff, she can contribute that way and do some interesting things. Also, I think maybe they have this gives them an opportunity to do something interesting, something different with Taryn. Maybe if they expand on this role of Jade and Marty and Rebel doing her dirty work while she's just watching on the big screen like Big Brother. That might be something. I don't know if they could keep it interesting for very long, but it's something new. It's a new concept that I don't recall them doing in the Knockouts before. So that's good. It's I'm not sure why they seem to be limiting Taryn's involvement right now. I heard she was injured, possibly. I don't know if I don't know if that's a shoot or not. Maybe it's just a rumor, but whatever. It's something new for Taryn. If she's like giving her marching orders from like behind the curtain or something, they might be able to do something good with that. LB Clash of Kings. Spike TV still left an offer for TNA to come back, and TNA and Spike TV both said they left on good terms. Well, I'm not sure. I'm not so sure about that. They may have left on good terms. It doesn't necessarily mean that Spike wants to renew the relationship. The way I heard it, they wanted to get out of the wrestling business, and going back to Spike TV doesn't solve their problems either. I think most of us were pretty happy when TNA left Spike TV because I think they've reached the limit of what they could accomplish on that network. Ani Rokaku. Good Lord, man, cut your hair. Anyway, hope you'll feel better. I kind of like the long hair. I've really gotten used to it. But yeah, I think the time to cut it is coming. Maybe not just yet, but I think in the not too distant future, it'll be coming off. I think it's time. Let's see. The Save Me One. I'm not a fan of Karen Jarrett, but for a 42-year-old mother of three, she's not bad to look at. Well, I suppose. I mean, her looks are not her problem. It's everything else about her that I can't stand. LB Clash of Kings. I liked Rebel joining the Dollhouse, and nice heel turn by her. That's another positive you can take away from that. It is something new for Rebel, and that's one of the positives about Rebel is that she is such a new character that she has plenty of new things to do. So she can turn heel like this, and it feels fresh. It's because it's something she hasn't done before. This is one of the reasons why I just find Velvet and Madison and Angelina so boring these days, is because there's really nothing they can do that they haven't done already. So, I mean, Velvet's attempts to reinvent herself lately just feel like desperation. I mean, those characters are used up. As limited as Rebel may be as a character, at least she has new things to do. So when she does them, it feels in some way fresh, and that's certainly a positive. J.H. Zilla, no, she isn't. But when she opens her mouth, all I hear is a goddamn velociraptor from Jurassic Park. That's a good analogy. Kudos. J.H. Zilla, Matt is a delusional man. To a degree, yes. I agree. Now I went over that, but yeah, I'll keep it short and sweet. Look, if Matt wants a title shot, dude, fucking earn a title shot. You had one and you lost. You don't get another one by starting a fucking hashtag. You get another one by earning it. And Matt has not yet earned that title shot. So I'm not terribly sympathetic to him in this case. Clover Cold 89. I am fine with this GFW TNA angle because at least we get to see fresh matches. You could have seen fresh matches without making the TNA president look like a fool. You could have seen fresh matches without doing a GFW invasion angle at all. I mean, haven't we seen enough fucking invasion angles in the last few years? They're just recycling the same old stories, guys. Yeah, babe. If that's the way you feel, that's the way you feel. I won't criticize you for that, even though I disagree. Jeff Atwood, do you think that the reason that Sheamus has the Money in the Bank contract because of the UFC fighter Conor McGregor? I think so, because Conor wins a UFC title and then all of a sudden Sheamus is important. I think it's possible. I think the UFC has been promoting Conor McGregor a lot. I personally have not seen him fight yet. But I know who he is because they've been advertising him a great deal. So I think he's one of the more mainstream fighters they have at the present time. So would WWE giving Sheamus the Money in the Bank try to capitalize on that somewhat? It kind of sounds like the type of clueless cash in that they think would be a good idea. It sounds like something they do. Although I don't think that they're looking that closely at the UFC, unless it's someone like Ronda Rousey, who is kind of a crossover star at this point. So my guess would be no. I think they just want to push Sheamus. Not sure why. Ani Rokaku, who's like a Velociraptor, Velvet, or Rebel. I think that was referring to Karen Jarrett. Yeah, Karen Jarrett. LB Clash of Kings. EC3 needs to stay undefeated and remain World Heavyweight Champion all the way till 2016 in the UK Tour so Spud can be the guy to end his streak and be World Champion. Wow. Well, that would get a hell of a pop at the Wembley Arena, that's for sure. Would be a nice treat for the UK fans. You know, when they were doing that match at the last UK tour, I said, you know, if they wanted to have Spud be the first guy to beat EC3 in their match on the UK tour, I would have been okay with it. I thought it would have made sense in that case. And it would have been a nice treat for the UK fans. In this case, if the world title were on the line, I would say no. Look, I like Spud a lot. I've been on the Spud bandwagon since British Boot Camp Season 1, when I first became a fan of him. World champion material, I don't think so. I don't mean that as a criticism of him. It's just, I just kind of takes away from the whole underdog thing, you know. Her voice is like one. Talking about Karen again. Wrestling Paradise 619. Yes, do a quick review of WWE SummerSlam in 2015. I'd love your thoughts. Oh boy. Quick review. Well, it was a 2-match show. I thought the finishes to both of those 2 matches were really fucking stupid. The finish to Cena Rollins made no sense. You had this whole thing with Rollins and Jon Stewart, and then he just suddenly attacks John Cena for reasons they probably made up the next night, a few hours before Raw went on the air. And then the finish to Brock versus Undertaker was the stupidest fucking thing. Jesus Christ, what a bunch of horse shit that was. So they ended the streak just so Undertaker could get the win right back the next time they fought. Why? So you can set up a fucking rubber match? A rematch probably at WrestleMania? Of the match that was too big for WrestleMania? Brock should have won that fucking match. God, that ending was horse shit. Don't really have a whole lot to say about the rest. I'm glad the New Day won the tag titles back. They're one of the more entertaining things WWE is doing right now. The Divas match was what is there to say about the Divas match? It was another random title match where it really made no difference who won and who lost. I'm glad Becky Lynch got the pin because I'm a fan of Becky Lynch. Aside from that, there's really not much to say about that. LB Clash of Kings then lead to a rematch of Spud versus EC3 at Slammiversary 2016 at Route 3. If they could have more matches like the one they had at the UK tour, I wouldn't mind them doing a series. But that match had meaning and importance and a great story behind it. I'm not sure they could that would carry over to an extended feud between them. Then who knows? The Save Me One. TNA should turn Brooke heel and do a 5-on-5 storyline where you have Gail, Kong, and the Beautiful People versus Brooke, Rebel, and the Dollhouse. I don't know. They tried the heel Brooke thing once before, and that really didn't work. I think Brooke is better off being a face. I think her moveset is more tailored to working as a face. And then the Beautiful People as baby faces. Wow. No, I'm sorry. That's got disaster written all over it. For starters, because it would involve putting the Beautiful People back together, which is a terrible fucking idea under any circumstances. No, just no. All right, no, don't fucking do it. Jade Zilla, man loses his leg in a wrestling match. Oh, God. What's stipulation for the 5-on-5? Okay, you know what? I need to get through these faster, or else I'm going to be here all night. And I do have to get to sleep at some point. LB Clash of Kings, how about reinstating the Knockout Tag titles as Bound for Glory as a stipulation? They couldn't do anything interesting with the Knockout Tag titles the first time, and that was when they had a lot more knockouts. Now, I mean, they barely have enough to keep the singles title interesting. If they wanted to bring the Knockout Tag titles back, they'd need, like, twice the roster that they have now. Considering their track record with them the last time, it's just, no, I prefer not. Duke Nukem 3DO, Young versus Melendez is the best feud in TNA. I'm going to assume that was sarcasm. J.H. Zilla, sad thing is there is a better one-legged military wrestler out there who was in freaking OVW. Yeah, Michael B.S. Hayes. I think that's it. Yeah. TNA could have brought him in, I guess. At least he's got more experience. Maybe Chris Melendez. Well, Chris Melendez was more recently de-legged, I guess. So maybe he was the more buzzworthy guy. I assume. Don't really know. We Bear 50, that view is boring as hell. I agree. Yep. JSL, yep, Mike Hayes. Mm-hmm. I believe he was trying out for Tough Enough. He's trying out for Tough Enough. I think I saw a video of him there. I don't know if he made the actual show. I'm not fucking watching Tough Enough. The Save Me One. It would make nice since the 5 girls they have came in and put over the past 8 years and always hog the top spots, fighting the new girls whose time it is and are sick of it. In that sense, I guess you could have a point. But at this point in time, I have very little faith that TNA would do the right thing and just have the new girls go over strong. Like I said this before, but it seems like they are just so paranoid about changing the knockout status quo that they just refuse to do what they need to do and have the new girls become the status quo. because you're always going to have Gale. Uh, you're always going to have Velvet in there for some reason. I don't know why. Uh, you're always going to have Kong, and yeah, Gale and Kong have a lot of redeeming qualities, but they're not going to be there forever. None of them are, and the fact that they're still in these positions all these all these years later is just so counterproductive. It's ridiculous. At least some of them, like Gale and Kong, are dynamic enough to stay interesting, um, to keep themselves interesting in the ring. But I mean, you get girls like Velvet and Madison and Angelina. They should have been phased out a long time ago, or at least transitioned into other roles. Why they're still in the knockout division, makes no fucking sense to me. Tina got the wrong one-legged war veteran. Okay, I'm gonna have to start skipping over some of these questions, or else I'm never gonna get finished. HB Hain 4441. Do you think Eric Young should be building up stars like Bram? Do you think Bram should be in the title contention for EC3's title? Maybe not yet. I think they should be positioning him to head in that direction, rather than starting feuds and then lose them, like with Anderson. I'm not sure Eric Young is in a position to build stars. Just because of various issues that I have with him. He's done so much stupid stuff over the years, been involved in so many stupid things. I'm not sure. It's like being involved with him is like being involved with a cartoon character, almost. I mean, I'll give him credit for trying to be a little more serious and toning down the clown stuff at least, and being more crazy than clownish. But it's still, you're walking a fine line there, and I'm not sure he's in much of a position to give a rub to anybody. Just my opinion. Clover Cold 89. Not every match needs a storyline. Well, then why is it on TV? Why is it happening? If you want a match without a storyline, you got fucking ROH for that. And have you seen their ratings lately? Nothing should happen on the show without a reason. Nothing should happen, no match should happen in the ring without some kind of storyline, some kind of reason for it to be happening. Because if there's no story, then why is it there? What reason do you have to watch? Because when you're just doing a match for the sake of doing a match, the only people you're catering to are the hardest of the hardcore wrestling fans, and unfortunately, those people make up the minority of the audience. Okay, I gotta skip over some of these. We Bear 50, but yeah, but TNA only care for stupid ideas to get ratings and publicity stunts. Yeah. And, well, the Melendez hiring did get them some publicity. I think they're pretty clearly past that by now. I don't think it ever got the ratings. Hashtag fire the Bellas. Doesn't really pertain to what we're talking about here. But okay, whatever. Aren't the Bellas fired already? Not last time I checked. The Save Me one. As long as Karen wears that outfit, I am fine with her being on TV. Just don't speak. You know she's always going to get a hold of that mic. She's going to find some way to do it. Just like Jared does. They're kind of perfect for each other that way. And the temptation of that screen time and that mic time is just too strong. They just can't resist it. LB Clash of Kings. I kind of like Velvet Sky. Okay. Yeah. I've never denied that Velvet has a fan base. It's just I don't see why she has to wrestle to keep that fan base. She doesn't. You make her a manager who never wrestles at all. She could still do everything that got her over. So why they still have her wrestling, I don't know. JGH Zilla with Bully now in WWE. Get rid of Velvet. I wish. JGH Zilla. Last time we saw Rebel on Impact, the Dollhouse were the ones who took her out backstage. Yeah. Yeah. Maybe it's if you can't beat him, join him type of thing. Maybe they brainwashed her like James Storm did with the Revolution. I don't know. Maybe they've got an explanation for this. Well, this guy wrestles better and can play a character better than Kelly, Eva Marie, Rosa, and Sarah Lee. So? Does that mean she's good? Oh yeah, she's better than Eva Marie. Well, you're kind of damning her with faint praise there, dude. Just saying. That's your argument, really? She's better than Eva Marie? That's funny. I hope LB Clash of Kings. I'm hoping Rebel is teasing Christy joining the Dollhouse on Twitter. Could just be at work and heard that Christy can still take bumps. I don't know. Christy's been retired for a couple of years now, dude. She did it for her health reasons. If that's the case, I wouldn't want Christy to come back at this point. She's probably more valuable to the company with what she does now. Clover Cold 89. It's kind of difficult to have fresh matches when we have seen every match there already. Not every match. Brooke versus Taryn, Brooke versus Jade, Brooke versus Marty are all fresh matches. I mean, we've seen them like once or twice, but you can still do them and have them feel like new. And stuff. I mean, there's some fresh stuff they can do there. Ian Israel, Tara was wrestling into her 40s. Life doesn't end at 40, trust me. Okay. But, Rebel is not Tara. And, Tara was wrestling into her 40s when she had, like, over a decade of experience. Rebel is, I believe, 35, and she's been wrestling, less than a year? She's playing catch-up here. Whereas, I mean, at that point, Tara or Victoria was already, already where she needed to be skill-wise. Yeah, I know life doesn't end at 40, but for professional athletes, that window doesn't stay open forever. LB Clash of Kings. TNA doesn't have an age limit on their women, so late 30s and 40s is not a concern in TNA women. Okay. Might be a concern for the fans. Okay, it's not something. It's not. Sure, it's not something all of us love to think about, but hey, bottom line is, younger women are going to be more marketable than older women. It's just a fact of life. That's how it is in show business. That's how it is in pro sports. And you can't hang your hat. And hey, all due respect to them, but when the women are getting long in the tooth, you can't hang your hat on those women forever. I'm just saying, you have to build for the fucking future. You have to. Okay. We start a pool on when I'm going to cut my hair. You can, if you want. We Bear 50. I'll take ROH over TNA and WWE any day. Okay. That's your prerogative. Go right ahead. Save me one. I'm a mark for Rebel. I can't say anything bad about her. Okay. Let's see. Duke Nukem 3DO. They need a mid-card title. Well, they had one, and look what they did with it. Just saying. If they don't have the time or the ability to make a mid-card title mean something, then just don't do one. Okay, that they tried with the Global Legend TV King of the Mountain title. We all saw the results. Would you want them to go back to that? I wouldn't. Clash of Kings. They need to redesign the King of the Mountain title. No, they need to get rid of that fucking title. Throw it in the fucking trash. To be frank, Dixie is not bright after all, so who cares? Well, they could make her look at least competent. Okay, so she's a little dim. Okay, but there's a difference between not being that bright and being completely blind to the world around you, so blind that you miss what's right in front of your face. Seriously. Heel Dixie was smart and conniving. While they did go overboard with Heel Dixie, I'll agree with that, but she seemed to have more on the ball and seemed to be more aware of things than Babyface Dixie was, I'll give you that. Okay. But she's blind, deaf, and dumb. I agree. I think Dixie might be stepping down soon. Well, who knows? JGH Zilla. This one won't last long. Yeah, I know. So why even do it? I'm well aware of what's going on. I know how it shakes out. If that's the case, why even bother doing it at all? Seriously. Do the TNA writers get kicks out of Dixie looking like a jackass as an owner of a wrestling company? Honestly, I think they do. I would not be surprised at all if they do. Part of me kind of wonders if they've got a pool going, or they've got it's like a private joke between them, wondering how stupid they can make her before she actually says something about it. It would make perfect sense at this point. Invasion storylines for dummies. The way this one is being written, I would agree. They've beaten the dead NWO horse with this invasion angle. Yeah, pretty much. I think there are more similarities to the Immortal story, but take your pick. Betting Impact so easy a caveman could do it. Okay. You know what? Mecha Shadow, is Bobby Roode going nowhere? Well, he's going to challenge for the King of the Mountain title, so yes. That's exactly where he's going. TNA should have Allison Danger book the Knockouts division. I think the Knockouts might get a little more respect that way. I don't think Allison Danger is the answer. I think they need somebody with some fresh ideas. I got respect for Allison Danger, but I don't think she's what they really need right at this point. Allison and Dave Prazak. Well, if you wanted it to turn into Shimmer, and I've got all the respect in the world for Shimmer, but I don't think it would work on that type of booking would work on TV. Yeah. Bring Queen of the Cage back. Oh Lord. I think they did Queen of the Cage like what, twice? I think the first time it was like a reverse battle royal against the first two women to get into the cage or something, and then they have a one-on-one match. And then the second one, it was like a four corners match that they just called Queen of the Cage for some reason. It's like whatever the fuck that was. I don't see the point. I think they need less gimmicks, not more. And I think that is it. And it's about 12:30. I think that's a good place to end it. I love your yes shirt. So do I. It's very comfortable. And it's never shrunk in the wash, which I appreciate. Because a lot of my clothes seem to do that. All right. Whole World, who's better, Sasha Banks or Charlotte? It depends what you're looking for. I think they each have good qualities. I think Charlotte is very good in the ring. I don't necessarily think she inherited her dad's charisma. I think Sasha Banks has personality, love it or hate it. I'm not a huge fan of the gimmick. I think it feels kind of phony. I've never been a big supporter of the whole boss thing. I'm probably in the minority on that one. That just comes down to personal preference. I think they both got good qualities, though. Taylor Wilde should come back. She's been retired for several years, and she seems to have moved on from wrestling. Not sure what else they could do with her at this point, and they seem to have lost interest with her the last time she was there. Ian Israel. Kana and Athena Reese have been signed by the WWE. I heard the rumors about Kana. Athena, though, that's interesting. I didn't hear about that. Well, that's good for Athena. You know, I don't have much confidence that they'll use her to the best of her abilities. I think she might have a better chance if she wasn't black. Just saying. Ugh. You know, I mean, we've seen how Naomi is just sort of meandering around, and hasn't really, gotten the push that she probably should have. Just saying. That's all I'm going to say on that topic. MyMag77, are you watching NXT TakeOver in Brooklyn? No. Don't watch NXT. I watch a segment here and there, but for the most part, I don't bother. I've been over that many times. Buddy Keltify. I don't know. I don't know how you pronounce that. Taylor said on Twitter that if the money and contract were right, she would come back. Yeah, if. If. That's the operative word. Athena will be a jobber in WWE. Well, who knows? Ivory 91. Full Killer 99. I hate black people. I did not say that. I simply made a comment about the WWE and their practices in pushing and utilizing wrestlers of color. I am pro-diversity. Always have been. If you're looking for someone to go in-depth on that topic, watch Schleg Daddy. He speaks more intelligently and eloquently about that topic than I ever could. Okay. You know what? That's got to be it for tonight, guys. That's got to be it. So I'm going to finish this. finish off these questions, and then I'm going to call it a night because I've got stuff to do and I got to get some sleep. Should Manic just stop using a mask? No. I think he should keep it. I don't see why he should stop. At least it gives. I think TJ has brought more out of the manic/suicide gimmick than other people probably have. I think it suits him. I don't think he's very well suited to just being TJ Perkins. I think they kind of dropped the ball with the gimmick. I think there was more they could have done with it. But yeah, I kind of identify him as Manic now. It'll be Clash of Kings. I think Naomi should just be enhancement talent. Okay, that's the way you feel. I mean, I think Naomi could certainly be the Divas champion if they gave her a chance. But, they haven't given her a chance. And unless something significant changes, I kind of doubt they ever will. JGH Zilla, have you seen Lucha Underground? I've seen bits and pieces of it. I appreciate that they're trying to find ways of presenting wrestling in a new way. That they're trying to be innovative in some of the stuff they do. Very big supporter in innovation like that. It's just not really my cup of tea. Some of the stuff they're doing. Oh God, Ian Israel wants Fourth Dimension Full Killer back. I will pretend I didn't see that. Yeah, that despicable son of a bitch is around here somewhere. I'm sure he'll show up eventually. And you know what? That is going to be it. I am all talked out. I need to eat something, I need to shower, and I need to get some sleep. Because, again, got a pretty early wake-up call tomorrow. So, thanks everybody for joining me. I think we'll probably do another one of these for the Impact Review next week as well. Not sure when my schedule will clear up exactly, so this may be how we're going to do these for the near future, at least. When something changes about that, I will let you know. Until then, we may have to stick with the live streams. I don't know. When I know something, you'll know something. So, thanks for joining me. Had a lot of fun getting some stuff off my chest about this. I will see you next week. Next Monday at 11:15 p.m., presumably. If something changes about that, I'll post a notice about that, or you can just hit me up on Twitter. Just follow me on Twitter. I'll post something there if something changes. Until such time, just assume that this will be how we're doing it with the live streams at 11:15 after Impact. Okay, that's it. I'm done for tonight. Good night. Good luck. Be seeing you later.